Hi all, welcome back to my channel SQL Training Session. And in today's session, we are going to understand what are the schema modifier type of transformation in mapping data flow in Azure Data Factory. Okay, so if you have already visited my channel, so you must have known that we have covered lot of transformation in Azure Data Factory. In case if you are new to my channel, I would like to tell you that you can see Azure Data Factory is the playlist in my channel SQL Training Session. There I have uploaded lots of videos sequence wise. So when we talk about the transformation, I have started uh, uploading the videos of the transformation in the Azure Data Factory. So I have started with as we know that the transformation of three types in Azure Data Factory. We have first type is multiple input output, second is schema modifier, and third is row modifier. Apart from them, we have a source and destination. Okay, so in earlier sessions we have covered the different type of five transformation which comes under the multiple input output category. Okay, so here if you can see union transformation, joint transformation, conditional split transformation, lookup and exist, all these are nothing but a multiple input types of category of a transformation in Azure Data Factory. So in today's session, we are going to cover the schema modifier. So I'll give you a one-liner statement. What is all this about? So multiple input output type of the transformation is nothing but where we can either expect the multiple inputs coming from multiple sources and or we can generate the multiple outputs. Okay, like we have a union transformation. In this we have a multiple sources, we are union all, we are joining it into the one destination. Okay, and also in the join is also the same, but here we are joining on the basis of some business key. Okay, then we have a conditional split where we have only one source but a multiple, it can have a multiple destination based on the conditions. We are splitting the data on the based on the conditions. So here we have a one source but we can have a multiple destination, so it comes under the multiple input output category. Then we have a lookup is nothing but we are in from the source, whatever we wanted to put into the destination, that will be depend on the lookup transformation, that will depend on the lookup. So we would have a different table or a different source, we can say, there we have to look up. If the data is matching, then only we can proceed to the destination. Like that we have a lookup transformation. We have an exist. So exist also comes into the multiple input output, because based on the exist scenario, like I wanted to move the data to the destination only if the data is only the data which is present in the source 1 is present in the source 2. Okay, so we will check the existence of the records in the multiple source, and based on that we will decide that whether it will move to the destination. So all this is comes under the multiple input output category. Now we have a schema modifier transformation is actually it is modifying the structure of a source. So let's say you have a source file and you wanted to change the any kind of the structure. Okay, structure of the file or structure of the data which is inside the file, that we can do with the help of the schema modifier transformation. So I'll in couple of minutes I'll tell you, I'll open the studio and I'll give you a demo how we can do that. And then we have a third type of the transformation, that is row modifier, where we are modifying the row. Like in the source we have some 50 records, let's say, and we will modify the records, okay, on the basis of some modifiers. In the destination I wanted only 10 records on the based on some conditions. So where we are modifying the number of rows, okay, that all kind of those transformation come under the row modifier. And wherever we are changing the structure of the file, or not the file, structure of the data which is inside the source, there that type of the transformation is nothing but a schema modifier. Let's say we wanted to add one more columns in that data, we wanted to change the name of the columns which is coming from the source, we wanted to give the some alias to the column name which is coming from the source, that is the schema, because we are changing the schema of the content of the source. Okay, and apart from this modifier we have a source and destination, as we know. Okay, so this is fine. Now let's go back to my Azure Data Factory. So here what I did is I have already created one storage account, and there I have uploaded one file. I'll show you the file also which we are going to Azure Learning. There is one file, customer detail, which I have uh, which we are taking as a reference, as a source, and on top of that we will perform our schema modifier transformation. So let me go to the home, and I'll show you the file first so that you will get an idea. Okay, sorry, I clicked the data factory again. I need to click through storage account. This is my blob storage account, if you see, and you click on the container. In case if you do not have a knowledge of what is the blob storage and all, I'll tell you. Okay, so blob storage, we have two types of storage. I have already covered in the in my channel. You can go through, and you can go through the video and understand what is the storage. So we have a two type of storages: blob storage and Azure Data Lake storage. So here we have and in the blob storage we have the containers. Inside the containers I have already uploaded the CSV file from my local machine. So here if you wanted to see the content, just click on this, select this, and click on added button. So if you see here, I have these four columns. Okay, ID, customer name, customer last name, and location. If you see, I have one header row and three data rows. Okay, so this is the content. So let me close this file. So this is all fine, and I have opened the data factory here. If you see here, I have opened the data factory, or I'll do one thing, I'll open the data factory one more time. Let me move it, and I'll go to the home one more time, and there is a data factory which I have created, demo data factory. I have to open the studio here. So this, you can see, studio is a user interface where you can create your pipelines, data flow, all those stuff. Okay, so it will take a couple of seconds to open. Let's wait. Here we go. So we have a multiple, we have author tab. Click on the author tab. So what we need to do, we need to create a data flow first. So here is a data flow. Right click on three dots here and click on new data flow. So let's give a nicer name to this data flow. I'll give as a schema modifier, because we are discussing the schema modifier type of transformation. Okay, so let me click on this to minimize. Now I have to add a source. First of all, I have to add a source on which I wanted to create or perform any kind of the transformation. So let me click on this and add a source. To drag it, and as soon as you add it, these are the setting which we have to perform on. So let me drag it over here. If you see here, I need to give the source name. So my file is nothing but a customer data. So I say like source src customer data. Okay, and if you wanted, you can give some description. Dataset is not created, so what I need to do, click on new, and I know that my file is present in the blob storage. So just select this type of the data store. File is type, the file of type. The next we need to choose the format. This is CSV. Click on continue. Give the name dataset first data file. Okay, and link service, we have I have already created a link service which is connected to my blob storage, that is ls underscore blob storage, which I have selected here. Now I have to okay, now I have to select the file. So this is my file I have selected here. In my file, first row I wanted to keep it as a header, that okay, and then click on OK. So this is all set. Our source data set has been selected here. Now this is you can keep it as a default, and these are all options I have already discussed in the very first video of the transformation. So in case if you don't know what is allowed data, this allows schema drift, infer schema drift, validate schema. So you can go through the very first video of the data transformation in Azure Data Factory playlist. There you will get all the information. Okay, if I cover each and every step, then this video will be very long. Okay, so that's why I just skip it here. Projection, if you wanted to change, you can change it. Let me keep it same as it is. Optimization, I will use the single partition, and here you need to do a data preview. Okay, so if you refresh, you will get the data. So in case you will for me, I have already opened the Dataflow debug. This data preview will be only work if your cluster is open, and cluster will be open if you enable this Dataflow debug. So here if you can see, this is the content in your source file. So I think whatever we everything is fine here till this point. Now we have to perform the transformation on this. So there is a plus icon, click on this. As soon as you click on this, you can see transformations here. So some transformation comes under the multiple input output, the same thing which I have given you the theory part earlier, right, before doing this. So here you can see join, conditional split, exist, union, lookup. This transformation comes under the multiple input outputs, which we have already covered. Now go to the second section, that is schema modifier. If you can see here, we have multiple schema modifier here. Okay, derived column select and all. Then we have a row modifier. See here we have a row modifier also. Okay, one more is there, formatter. I will tell this as well. So category wise we will go. Okay, so first of all is schema modifier. Let's select the derived column. So derived column is basically is being used if you wanted to create a new column in your file. Okay, or if you wanted to modify the existing columns, you can wanted to regenerate a new column based on the existing column. Okay, so in that case you can create a derived column. So let's say I have first name and last name. I wanted my output file to be like ID, then customer full name, and then call location. Instead of four columns, instead of these columns, I wanted one more column where I can display the complete name of a customer. So in that case, that means I need a one more column. For that, I have to create a add the derived column transformation. So here, just what here output stream name, what you wanted to, customer full name. Okay, description keep it as, and in incoming stream is, I have this source, so this is the name of the incoming stream. And whatever the, what is the new column which you wanted to create, what would be the name of that column, that is what it is asking in here. So I want to give this as a customer, I wanted to give a name, customer full name. Okay, this would be my, or just a full name, that's. So I wanted a new column to be added in my data in my file with name full column. And what would be the value of this column, that we can do it using the expression. So click on this, and as soon as you click on it, there is an option, click on open expression builder. Here if you can see derived column, it is saying that you have just created a derived column with the name full name, and you have to give the value here. So this box is nothing but an expression. Now what you need to add here, you have to concatenate, right, these two values, expression values, ID, customer. So here you can see I wanted to concat these two columns. So first of all, what we need to do is I need to find, click on all expression elements. With the help of expression element, you can create an expression which will put here, and that will be the value of your derived column. Okay, so I want to first find concat function. So this is the concat function. If you look thoroughly, it need two parameters, both of string type, data type, which is separated by a comma. So let me select it. If I select it, it will jump into this. Okay, now I remove it, and I can see all my columns. So here I wanted to concatenate between first name, then I need to put a comma, and then last name. That's it. So what I need to do, I need to save it. So once save it, I wanted to see the preview of the data. So what I, if in case if I wanted to see how the data look like after I apply the expression, you can click on the refresh. So here the data is refreshing. This is the expression, this is your derived column name. And if you can see here, it it says this is your derived column with name full name, and it takes a value from the two columns, customer first name, customer last name, and this will be your final value. Okay, so this way it will work. Now if you and look thoroughly, there is no space between the first name and last name. Okay, so I need a space. So what I can do, I can go to the expression value again, and I give some space here. Okay, so let me save it again, and let me refresh it again to see whether the content is now look correct or not. So this way you can use this option. See, once you will finalize this, you can save and finish it. So see here, we have one more. column is being created here. Okay, so if you wanted to see the final result, for that you can for optimize you can use a single, and here you can inspect is nothing. Here you can see the data types of your input columns. So go to the data preview. This is the final result. Okay, so click on the refresh and you can see what would be the final result. And here see ID, customer first name, customer last name, location, and full name. So here you can see one new column is also been added in your file, which is initially is not present in your file, but as per your requirement you need to concatenate two columns. So in that case you have an option to create you have an option to do that using the scheme derived column transformation. And this, as you can see, the schema is being changed. Okay, the content is being changed, so that's why it comes under the schema modifier. Now whatever, now what you can do is, once the data is finalized, you can just uh, dump it into your destination. You can choose the destination sync and you can push it into the destination. So this is what you can do, okay, with the help of the direct transformation. Now what I need to do, I need to show you the another type of the schema transformation, which is select. Okay, let's discuss the select transformation now. So select transformation allow us to only select the specific columns what you wanted. Let's say we have a lots of columns is coming from the input files, and I only want a few columns which is required for my permit, which is required for further computations, okay, or further transformation. So selecting the specific columns or selecting or giving the alias to the columns is been possible with the help of the select transformation. So let's say I have these many columns in my final data. Okay, now you see, if I already have a full name, there is no need to display the first name and last name. Okay, so I am in the need to remove these two columns, and I wanted only three columns to be displayed in my final list. Okay, final file, that is ID, location, and full name. That we can do with the help of select transformation. So again we are modifying the schema of the file. So that's why we have to go to the schema modifier section, and here we have to select the select. So click on select. If you can see here, select, I can give the name of this transformation, select specific column like that. Okay, so input stream is customer full name, that's fine. If you go here, so what you want to do in the select, so here you have to do, okay, so I want these two columns, customer first name and customer name, to be removed. Okay, so let me select these two column, first name, customer name, and then delete it. So I will be left with only three columns: ID, location, and full name. Okay, now this is a ID. If I wanted to make change to this, I wanted to rename as a customer ID. Okay, because basically it is a customer ID, although, okay, so it is giving a more sense. So let me rename it as a customer name. And if you wanted to change any, put the alias or full name instead of full name, you wanted to make changes as a customer name. Okay, this is this I wanted to make changes. So here, once I have done it, optimize, we can use single partition as we have a very small file. And here you can see we have what do you call, we have the data type. If you can see here, customer ID is basically we can get, we are getting only the integer values. So here you can change that as well. Okay, here we can, you can change the data type, but I am not going to change it. I'll change it the data type with the help of another transformation, so that I can show that transformation also. Okay, so here go to the data preview and click on refresh to get the final look of the your data content. So click on refresh. Let's wait for a couple of seconds. Now it looks good. Okay, now it looks, the content of the file looks good. Now this is our desired result, where I wanted a customer ID. It's displaying here, location here, and then location, customer name. If you go back to the select setting one more time, and if you wanted to This is fine. You can change the sequencing as well. I mean, you can put the full name in second order and the location in the third order. That you can also be, that you can also do it. Okay. So if you see, we have got this data. So this is our second schema modifier transformation. That is a select transformation. Okay. Now let's see, and we will see a surrogate key. After that, I'll discuss this aggregate transformation. So surrogate key is the one of another kind of the schema modifier transformation, which will give you a sequencing of sequence or ordering of your records. Here, if you can see, I have three records in the file. Okay, as of now, three records, but there is no sequence. Okay, this is the customer ID 10452, but which record is first record, which record is second record, which record is third record, that sequencing is not there. Also, I do not to add a primary key to your file if your file is not having any key, but this file is having a key which is customer id, but this type of the key is a business key, and it is not recommended to use any kind of the business key as your primary key. So in case if your file lacks with is not having any primary keys, like with primary key, you can add your primary key in your file in your source. For that, we have a surrogate key. So let's click on the surrogate key. On top of this file, I wanted to put the surrogate key. So click on surrogate key. Here, this is fine. Surrogate key ID. Let me create it. In incoming stream is nothing but a select specific column. That is fine. Now go to key column. What is the key column which you wanted to put? So I wanted to create a new column with name ID, whose start value would be 1 and the step value is 1. Step value is nothing but incremented by 1. So I wanted a very first record will be given a value 1, and the very next record will be incremented by 1. So the order would be 1, 2, 3, like that. If I keep the step value as a 2, then first record will be given a value 1, second record will be given value 3, okay, plus 2. So it will be adding a record. So let me make it as a 1 as of now, and just partition inspect, and here you can see. So one more record will be created, and that record is nothing but a order. If you see here, 1, 2, 3. So new record is been new column is been added, and it gives a value 1, 2, 3. Okay, I have only given a value 1, but because of I have given the step value as a 1, it give value 2 to the second record and plus 1, 2 plus 1, 3 to the third record. Okay, let me show you one more thing so that you will get a clear idea. This time I'll keep the step value as a 2 and see the data preview. It will be incremented by the number 2. But most of the cases we will see 1, 3 and 5. But most of the business cases, what we need to do, we have to add the sequence with value only 1, step value only 1. So this is, let me roll back the changes, and here if you can see, the value 1 is added. Okay, 1, 2, 3. So primary key is when I have added a primary key, or I have added a incremental value. It's not primary we can say, but it's incremental value or sequence value I have added to each of the records in my source. Okay, so this is done. Now if you see, if you are happy with the content you wanted to move, just select your sync. Okay, just provide the details of your destination, and there you can load the file. Now if you can see here, the next aggregation schema modifier is aggregate. So aggregate is nothing but a kind of aggregating or performing calculations on the all the columns, like aggregating or sum, if you wanted to sum of records, or if you wanted to see the count of records in which the count of the records you have in the file, that value, or if you wanted to see how many records we have for specific location, that kind of scenarios we will use the aggregate. So let me click on aggregate, and here what I wanted to see how many customers belongs to Mumbai location, how many customer belongs to the Hyderabad location. So I wanted to know the count of the employees, sorry, count of the customer based on the locations. So for that I wanted a aggregation, because we are aggregating the customers based on the location. So I need to use the aggregate type of the aggregate transformation. So I'll see aggregate customer based on location. Okay, so this is the output. I'll give the nicer name, so that naming convention of your transformation task would be like that. You will be able to understand what is going inside. It would be like that. Okay, so here is the surrogate key incoming call, which is fine. Sorry, incoming stream is surrogate key ID, which is fine. Now it is saying group by what? I wanted to group by location. Okay, so let me just drag a little bit up so that you can get an idea. So here let me choose group by location, and what you wanted to aggregate, so choose this second one. Okay, we have choose the location, and in aggregate you have to mention what you wanted to do. I mean, what you wanted to aggregate on which column. I wanted to aggregate on ID columns. Okay, number of customers. So let me give this the name like gives the name as, either you can type an expression or you can search. See, count of any expression here it is saying. Okay, so just remove it, and I wanted to count on customer ID. Okay, I wanted to count on customer ID, and here you can remove the I'll give a nicer name like total cost based on location. So this is my requirement. I wanted to know the total customer based on my location. So that is the count of customer ID. Just save it, save and finish. Okay, and here I wanted the count of customer ID. So it will, so what will happen at the background, how the it will read this. It will read like I wanted to aggregate total. Go ahead and count the total customer based on location, count of customer ID, group by location. That way it will understand the query and execute it. So go to optimize, make it this, all is fine. Here you can see this will give you only the these columns. Okay, location and this two columns, location and total customer on location. Go to preview and click on refresh to see the final output. So here we will give only two columns. Here we will expect only two columns. Okay, here you can see I have this aggregate is saying, the output is saying that we have total of two columns, two records, two customer which belongs to Mumbai location, and only one customer which belongs to Hyderabad location. So this way we will get the aggregation of the records. If you wanted to see only the total count of the customer, that you also do it. Okay, so how you can do it? You can go to the, and I don't want to group by any. Let's say I don't want to group by anything. Let me remove this. Okay, I wanted only the aggregate. I wanted only aggregate. So let me see the total customer. Okay, so I have to change the expression. Okay, so here I don't want okay, this is fine. Total count of customer ID. So this, what it is doing, it is doing just count of total customer, but there is no group by. Okay, I don't want any group by. So this is fine. What we can do, just check. Now check. Now it will give the total number of records. Okay, let me inspect. Okay, group by it's been added. Let me remove it and let me inspect. See here, now I got only one column. Okay, now if I refresh it, then I will get only one column, and it says the total number of records is 3. Okay, because we have, see, total customer as a 3, because we have not given any group by. If I give any group by, then it will give the 2 columns, and it will say that based on this column this many count, based of this many counts, like that it will happen. Okay, so let me change again. I will revert back my changes, and this way if you refresh you will get the total number of customers based on the location. Okay, so this is fine. Now go back here in the schema modifier. Now you can see that we have a pivot, unpivot, window, rank, external, and cast. Okay, these will I will cover in the next session, because otherwise video will be very long, and these are the little bit advanced, and I will take another example to showcase this things. Okay, to showcase this type of the schema modifier. Casting is the another type of the schema where you wanted, if you wanted to make changes to your data type, there you can change, create a user cast. So what I'm going to do, instead of using it from here, I wanted to make changes in this. If you see here, go to the inspect, this customer ID is nothing but a string type. I wanted to make it as integer type. So what I need to do, instead of coming from here, I mean instead of doing transformation on top of it, I wanted to do the transformation on top of here, surrogate key. So click on plus and come down here and choose the cast. Okay, so it is casting my cast customer ID. Okay, here I wanted to cast as a integer instead of string. I wanted to make it as a, so here if you can see, using the cast we can change the type here. Okay, so earlier it was string, and I will make it, I have make it as an integer. If you wanted to specify any kind of format, let's say in your source file you have a date column. Okay, for date you wanted to make the change the format of the date, so there you can specify the date format. So here I'll make it keep simple. So if you see, I'll so let me go to the data preview and I'll show you. So this is the values, and go to the string. Here you can see in inspect, you can see input was, if you see the input was the customer ID of string type, and after using the cast data type, the output is, it changed the data type as an integer. So this way you can change this, some of the schema modifier I have explained in this video. I hope so. What we have covered this we have covered derived column transformation, we have covered select transformation, surrogate key transformation, cast transformation. Okay, and we have used the aggregate transformation. Rest of the transformation, schema modifier transformation, which we have not covered, I'll cover in the next session, that is pivot, unpivot, window, rank, and external call. Okay, and post that, after that we will slowly we will go to and understand the formatters. Okay, and the row modifiers. So hope you like the video till the time. In case if you have any doubt, please feel free to comment me in the comment section. Okay, till the time, happy learning. Have a nice day, guys. Thank you.